It's wild to look back and see how far I've come. Recently, I watched a video from my former self-love mentor where we talked about my people-pleasing tendencies. Back then, I thought I had uncovered something deep, but now I see I had barely scratched the surface. Because people-pleasing isn't just saying yes when you want to say no. It's self-neglect disguised as kindness. It's believing love, acceptance, and belonging must be earned. Many of us grew up learning that love was an exchange, given only when we were useful, agreeable, or accommodating. So we gave, we overextended, we prioritized others, believing this was the path to being valued. But when people don't give back, it stings, it feels personal. Not just because of the lack of appreciation, but because it taps into something deeper, a core wound of unworthiness. If love was always earned, then not being appreciated feels like proof. I am not enough. Much of this is learned through family, culture, or society. Some of us were taught that putting ourselves first was selfish. Some learned that avoiding conflict meant keeping the peace. Some absorbed the idea that their worth was tied to being needed, and for many, it runs even deeper. Maybe in your family, love was given when you were useful, but withdrawn when you had needs. Maybe your culture prioritized duty over self-worth. Maybe society praised self-sacrifice while shaming self-prioritization, especially for caregivers and women. An unspoken rule gets passed down. Love and acceptance comes from giving, not from simply being. People-pleasing isn't a personality trait. It's often an ancestral wound. Look at past generations. The patterns are there. Did the women in your family give endlessly and expect little in return? Did the men suppress their emotions to be seen as strong? Were boundaries non-existent because survival and community mattered more than individual needs? These patterns didn't start with you, but will they end with you? For those who associate love with self-sacrifice, it can be painful to realize that not everyone operates the same way. You give endlessly, expecting the same in return, only to find some people take without giving. You overextend, hoping to be seen and valued, only to feel invisible. You believe that if you just do more, others will finally treat you the way you treat them. But real love isn't transactional, and people-pleasing is not the path to genuine connection. Ask yourself, am I giving from a place of love, or am I giving to be loved? Because the cost of people-pleasing is high. Boundaries feel impossible when rejection feels like abandonment. Resentment builds when so much is given, but so little is received. Burnout becomes inevitable when meeting everyone else's needs leaves nothing for yourself. A loss of self occurs when life revolves around every expectation of others, until one day the realization hits, I don't even know what I want anymore. So many of us allow others to be the priority, while quietly accepting being an afterthought. We shrink our needs, as if making ourselves smaller will make us more lovable. We become complacent in our own self-neglect, as if it were the price to pay to be good enough. But here's the truth. No one else is going to stop this cycle. That's your job. You were never meant to shrink yourself to be loved. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to own it. So ask yourself, what does breaking this cycle look like for you? And what's one small way you can start today?